Emily lived with her beloved dog Max in a quiet apartment in Portland, Oregon. Originally from a small town in Iowa, Emily had moved to the city after her father's sudden death to support her mom and younger sister. She worked at a local toy store downtown, a dream job for her because she loved toys, especially dolls. Her tiny apartment was filled with dolls from around the world, rare, vintage, handmade. Each had its own story, its own charm. One day, her store received a limited edition collection of Labubu dolls. These dolls were extremely rare and creepy. Cute. All the dolls sold out instantly. But Emily had reserved one special piece for herself. A golden Labubu doll with shiny fur, long bunny-like ears, and a disturbingly cute grin. This one looked different. Unique. Almost alive. That night, Emily took it home, excited like a child. She clicked pictures of the doll from every angle, hugged it tightly, and introduced it to Max, her loyal Labrador. But Max, who was always friendly around Emily's toys, growled violently at the Labubu doll. He barked, teeth bared, and wouldn't stop staring at it. Emily laughed it off, thinking maybe Max was just being overprotective. She placed the doll on her display shelf and went to bed. Oddly, Max didn't sleep beside her like he usually did. He stood near the door, eyes fixed on the doll, growling low and deep before finally running out of the room. The next morning, just as Emily was about to leave for work, Max tugged at her jeans, pulling her toward the shelf where the Labubu doll sat. When she ignored him, he barked louder and tried to block her way. Frustrated, Emily scolded him and locked him in the bathroom before heading to the toy store. That day was unlike any other. Emily, usually sweet and calm, snapped at customers and even screamed at her manager, something she'd never done before. Her boss fired her on the spot. Confused and shaken, she returned home, still crying. Max, upon seeing her distressed, whimpered and tried to comfort her. That night, she fell asleep early. But around 3 a.m., she heard laughter. Not a normal giggle, a twisted, high-pitched, eerie laugh. When she opened her eyes, she saw a shadowy figure standing in the corner of her room. The darkness made it hard to see, but she felt the stare. Heart racing, she switched on the lamp. No one was there. Just the Labubu doll, smiling on the shelf. She shook it off as a bad dream, placed the doll back on the shelf, and went to sleep again. That night, she had a terrifying nightmare. In her dream, she was trapped in her room. A grotesque creature, red-skinned and half-decayed, with claws sharper than knives and teeth like daggers, crawled toward her. It let out that same high-pitched laugh before lunging at her throat. She screamed in terror and woke up gasping, only to find the Labubu doll sitting on her chest, staring straight into her eyes. Emily let out a blood-curdling scream. Max burst into the room and immediately attacked the doll, biting and ripping it apart into shreds. Shaking and drenched in sweat, Emily dumped what was left of the doll into the trash and collapsed in bed, pulling Max close to her. But the next morning, things got worse. Her head pounded like it was splitting in two. Her arms were covered in red, itchy rashes like she'd been bitten. Max was missing. She called out to him. Nothing. Searched the apartment. Still nothing. Then she entered the bathroom. No Max. She looked up into the mirror and gasped. Her entire face was covered in red blotches, scratches, like something had clawed at her while she slept. But that wasn't the worst part. In the mirror's reflection, right over her shoulder, was a creature. The same one from her dream, grinning, laughing. She spun around in horror. Nothing was there, except the Labubu doll, sitting silently on the shelf above the sink, smiling wider than ever. Emily's stomach turned. That doll had been destroyed, torn apart by Max. She'd thrown it in the trash. How was it back? Worse, its once cute grin now looked evil, almost demonic. Terrified, Emily ran through the house calling out for Max. When she reached the kitchen, her legs gave out beneath her. There, beside the sink, was the doll, its mouth and hands stained with blood. Emily looked under the sink and screamed louder than ever before. Max's lifeless body lay crumpled and torn apart. Blood soaked the floor, his eyes wide open. Her heart shattered. It all made sense now. The doll wasn't just creepy, it was cursed. She searched online, desperate for answers. To her horror, she found dozens of reports from across the world, stories of Labubu dolls harming people, causing nightmares, illness, even death. In one news article, a woman in New Jersey said the doll drove her husband to suicide. Another man in Tokyo was found dead, the doll clutched in his hands. Some even said the Labubu doll wasn't just cursed, it was a vessel of an ancient demon named Pazuzu. Priests in several countries had performed exorcisms on these dolls. Some nations had even banned them. Shaking, Emily doused the doll in lighter fluid, set it on fire, collected the ashes in a jar, and dumped them into the river nearby. That night, she called her younger sister and told her everything. She finally felt like it was over. But the next morning, police found Emily's dead body inside her apartment. Right next to her was the Labubu doll, pristine, untouched, and smiling. Later, it was discovered that a former co-worker from the toy store had taken one of the remaining dolls home, the same one that had appeared in Emily's house again. Many now say that Labubu is more than a toy. It's a vessel for something evil, a cursed creation. Some even believe it is Pazuzu, the demon of the wind, hunger, and disease. Several countries have banned the doll entirely. Others are conducting religious rituals to stop it. But you tell us, do you believe this doll is cursed? Or is it all just mass hysteria? Let us know in the comments. And remember, not every smile is innocent.